Now, if I wanted to, I could have talked about the new top 15 that got verified recently. No, not the 9 Circles level I covered, another one got verified. However, I don't want to cover that because a lot of people already know that, and I want to rather talk about the new preview we got for Elysium Mons. Maybe I said the name wrong, but if you don't know about this level, it's basically the sequel to Deimos. So just as Deimos was already a sequel to Phobos, itsHybrid has again hosted another project, which this time it is going to be the sequel, in a way, like the trilogy of Phobos Deimos, and now this level. What I find interesting is that obviously Phobos and Deimos were named after the two moons of Mars, so there wasn't really anywhere to bounce off of with this level, but they kind of made it work because it's named after a volcano on Mars, so I find that an interesting way to stick to the theme. A lot of the parts being shown are just like short segments. It's not really all of a percentage of the level in one. It's kind of just taking a couple parts from different sections of the level and putting them into a preview, but I think that's just showing the ones that are done currently decoration wise. Now, I have seen a lot of people complain about how this level doesn't feel like a Deimos sequel, and I can kind of understand where they're coming from that. This is a very different format than what Deimos took. A lot more stuff is going on, it's a lot more in your face, it's a lot to process, and it does kind of feel like a different style. But honestly, I'm completely fine with that because that's not exactly what itsHybrid's trying to get at here. As you can see, itsHybrid's aiming for a more modernized Phobos, so not necessarily a Deimos sequel. I mean, you could probably take it as that since it's kind of like the third in this trilogy. However, the actual goal for what this level should look like is a modernized Phobos and giving off the same feeling of Titan Complex and the gritty themed 2018 to 2019 mega collab vibes. And in that case, I think it works pretty well. I don't necessarily see the gritty 2018-2019 style. I think this level doesn't exactly show that. I think the way the gameplay is structured shows that, but a lot of the decoration seems a lot more unique and colorful comparatively, but I think it works as that Phobos style. Like this gameplay here, that UFO part, it's very Phobos adjacent. It loves to use wacky movement here, but it all kind of still works. The decoration is also just very different for each part. It doesn't really stay the same consistency, which again is similar to Phobos. I think it does nail this kind of Phobos theming there once. This kind of building upon the idea of Phobos and modernizing it. As for the gameplay, I feel like this could end up pretty bad. I'm gonna be honest, some of the stuff here looks incredibly whack, but again, it hasn't released. I'm sure that it is going to be of high quality. I'm just a little scared because of how close to Phobos is. Yeah, this is at the end of the video. We're just gonna ignore this. Now, while on the actual video, as you can see here, it's in question marks because itsHybrid doesn't actually know the difficulty. It is kinda stated in the first preview we got. In here, he says, "I'll keep the difficulty a complete secret even for me until the level is out and rated. All I know is that the level is quite impossibly hard." And I think from that, we can take that, well, this probably isn't going to be top 1. I feel like if it was top 1, it would be known. But the fact that it's very confusing where it could go, and the fact that it's being kept a secret, makes me think this is probably top 10-ish. Which will put it similar to what Deimos was, so I'm kind of fine with that. I think it being in the top 10 would be pretty cool. And yeah, like I said before, I proudly present the finale to the Phobos series, so this is it is a sequel to Deimos, however, it's more trying to modernize Phobos. Now, I don't know if we're going to be seeing a verifier be announced soon. I don't know if it has been already. However, if you want to ask any questions about this, I'm hopefully going to be interviewing itsHybrid soon. I'm going to try and figure out a date for that pretty soon. So if you want to ask questions, just keep on the lookout for a community post if this interview goes through. So I think that'll be interesting. But that's pretty much all I wanted to say because I think that this is a very interesting level. I think compared to Deimos, it tries a lot more things. And it really tries to play around with that Phobos style that Deimos really didn't. Deimos, I feel, played it a lot more safe and wanted to make a really good level at the end of the day. Elysium Mons feels a lot more abstract. It just feels like it's trying more and it's going more out of the box, which is, in the sense, what Phobos did. So I do like this. I wish Hybrid the best of luck with having this level get finished. I don't really have much more to say, actually. The last thing I will mention is that there's a poll on my channel if you want my microphone to improve or not, or you want it to stay with this funny, poor quality mic. I would like to see votes on that, just so I can get an idea of what you want. But at the end of the day, I don't have much more to say today, so thanks for watching and peace.